Good morning, happy Tuesday. I hope everyone had a lovely long weekend or that it was restorative in some way. Today we're just gonna have a nice, easy, gentle class. And we're gonna do a little bit of shoulder strengthening too. So let's start in cat-cow. So that'll be hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And start in your cow pose, dropping your belly, looking forward. And then cat pose, rounding in, looking in towards your tummy. And slowly alternate between these two, taking your time, really feeling into what your body has to say today. And if you'd like to, you can pair this with a breath. So that would be inhale with cow as you drop your belly and look forward, and then exhaling with cat as you round in. Inhaling as you look forward, drop your tummy, and exhale, making space as you round in and let your head go. And take a few more here, as many as you feel your body needs, taking your time. And next, we are going to meet back in a neutral spine, so in the middle, and then take your right leg out to the side. Plant the whole foot down so that the outside edge of the foot is planted, and then rise up. We're going to come into gate pose. So our right arm rests at our side on our leg, and our left arm is going to reach up and over. Feeling a nice big stretch in our inner thigh here. So our foot is out to the side at about the level of our knee. And then no rules on how far we need to go here into this stretch. Just feeling something good. Weight is mostly in your left knee and your right foot. We don't have much weight in our arms here. And then rise back up to the middle. Bring that right foot back in and back to tabletop. This time we're going to take C curves to each side. I don't know if this really has a name, but it's where instead of cat-cow, we're looking over our right shoulder and bringing our hips like they're going to touch our shoulder. And then the same thing in the opposite direction. So hips to the left, looking over our left shoulder. I'm just taking these side body stretches. No rules on how to breathe here. And feeling into your sides. Are they feeling similarly tight as the front and back? Are they different side to side? Maybe if you were in a car a lot this weekend, you're feeling something that maybe you don't normally feel in your yoga practice. That's okay. That just shows why it's nice to have a regular yoga practice. Take one more on each side. Looking over your shoulder. Pause. And alternate. Good. And then come back to the middle. And then here we'll kick that left foot out to the side. Rise up. Left foot at about the level of your right knee. Straight out to the side. Outside edge of the foot is down. And then reach your arm up and over. Wonderful. Stretching into this left inner thigh area. Our shoulders, for the most part, are staying facing forward. And then little to no weight in the bottom arm. Good. Unwind out of this. And return once more to hands and knees. We're going to do a little core here. We'll do core, but it's also going to be some shoulder work. So I'll show you why that is. So take a look at my shoulders for a second. A lot of times when we're in a weight-bearing pose for the upper body, We don't have great engagement around our shoulder blades, which then leads to what we call winging, which is where the shoulder blade has less stability with the body and kind of flops away, like if someone could come over and like grab under your shoulder blade. And so to avoid that, we want to have this puff between the shoulder blades. And so this puff is the engagement of a muscle called serratus. And that goes under the shoulder blade and helps kind of secure the shoulder blade through the body. And so we're going to puff and engage serratus as we do this core work here. We're also going to do that again when we do down dog later. We'll talk about that puff. So it's kind of a weird feeling. A lot of times we've never isolated it out before with exercise, and we just have this constant like kind of droop between our shoulder blades. But imagine if someone came up underneath your chest and poked you on your sternum and said, move that away from the ground. So that area in the middle of your chest, lifting that away from the ground, like you're making your arms longer, and lengthening from your armpits towards your wrists. That is the feeling that we're going for here, is this lift between the shoulder blades to lift away from the ground and lengthen our arms. It's different than cow in that we're not rounding our back, but the shoulder blades are coming around the sides of the body. Okay, if all of that was very confusing and meant nothing, don't worry about it. Sometimes we have to hear things several times or in a few different ways before it makes sense. But starting back in tabletop, hands below your shoulders, knees below your hips, find that little puff between your shoulder blades, making space between you and the ground, and then hold that feeling as you draw your tummy in and then kick one leg back. I'm starting with right leg, whichever one you choose is perfect. And then set that leg down, puff between the shoulder blades, tummy in, and kick the left leg back. Good, set it down. Think about keeping your hips square to the ground. Find that shoulder engagement, push the ground away, tummy in, and right leg back. Good, set it down. Shoulder blades lift, tummy in, and left leg back. So this is a lot of work. Good, set that leg down. We'll do one more each side. So find that lift between the shoulder blades, push the ground away, tummy in, extend your right leg back. Good, set it down. Shoulder blades lift, tummy in, and left leg back. So we're getting a whole body workout here, even though it looks pretty simple. Good, set your left leg down. Now we're gonna lower onto our forearms for dolphin. So dolphin might be a new pose. It's kind of like down dog, but a little different, a little bit more shoulder work. And then for the hands for dolphin, it's like we're going into a forearm plank. And so you can, there's a variety of hand options here, similarly as there are in forearm plank. But what I like to do is take a fist with my left hand and then wrap my right hand around that. And then shoulders are still above our elbows, and knees are under our hips. And here you're going to tuck your toes like you're going into down dog. And then lift your hips up high. And there we are in dolphin pose. Sit your hips back. Your crown of your head is not touching the ground here. That is lifted. Good. Reach your hips back. Send them high towards the ceiling. And then again, find that puff feeling at the shoulder blades so that you have that engagement where the shoulder blades feel like they're spreading apart on the back. And that is going to help us feel super strong through our shoulders instead of just feeling our shoulders droop towards the ground. Think about actively pushing your forearms into the ground, lengthening between the tops of your shoulders and your elbows. Good. Go ahead and allow your knees to be as bent here as they need to be, and then lower on down. That is also a lot of work. Take a moment in child's pose to pause and absorb what you just did. Take your arms out long for this child's pose. So feeling a nice stretch through our lats. All the little muscles in our armpit. And then go ahead and take your arms all the way over to the right side of your mat. You can stack that left hand on top of your right hand. And hang out there for a moment, breathing into your left side body. Good. And then return to center and then take your hands over to the left side of your mat, breathing into your right side. Good, wonderful. Hands back to center and then rise up again to tabletop, hands below our shoulders, knees below hips. And then tuck your toes under. So here we're going to go into down dog with that nice, beautiful shoulder engagement. So finding that lift between our shoulder blades and then tucking the toes and then lifting our hips up and back. Send your heels towards the ground. Feel that nice, wonderful stretch through the backs of our legs. And then again here, feel that spreading of the shoulder blades apart on the back. That is going to help us get our straightest engagement here. Good, beautiful. And then reach your right leg high and then step it through to a low lunge. So go ahead and take as many steps as you need or use your arm to help it get there. And then lower your back knee and rise up into crescent moon. Your hands can be anywhere here. I always like to take my hands to my knee just to focus on the stretch in my left hip when I first get into this pose. But then if you'd like to, you can take your arms up overhead. And what I want you to think about here with your arms overhead is drawing your shoulder blades down and back. So being able to have your arms extended overhead without shrugging your shoulders. So send those shoulder blades down, lengthen them away from your ears. It's the slightest squeeze between the shoulder blades as they also sink down away from your ears. A lot of times in yoga poses when we're doing a certain thing with our arms, whether it's warrior two or reverse warrior or anything like that, we have this beautiful like straight line, but then our shoulders are shrugged up to our ears. So thinking about setting those shoulder blades down on the back, we can keep that as we keep our arms up overhead. It takes practice to not catch yourself constantly shrugging, but it is possible. Then go ahead and step back. We'll take another pass through down dog. So tuck those toes, hands below your shoulders, and then lift up, reaching back. Take a moment here. Shift your weight side to side. And then meet in the middle, lift your left leg, and then reach your left leg forward and through, lower down. Good, and rise up into crescent moon. Taking your hands wherever they would like to go. Good, and then if your arms aren't already, reach them up overhead and check in on your shoulders. Even with your arms extended up overhead, can you squeeze or can you roll your shoulders back a few times? And then when you roll them back in the circle, let them settle there. So let them sit a little lower on our back than they normally do. Even if that means that maybe our arms aren't totally straight. And then think about your head position. Is your head way out in front? Can you bring it back in space a little so it's directly above your shoulders? Good. Go ahead and lower down out of this Another pass through down dog, so hands under shoulders, tuck your toes, reach your hips back. And again here, feel that little puff between the shoulder blades. Nice and strong. Good, take 2 deep breaths here. Good, and then lower down onto your knees. Take one more pass through child's pose. This time let your arms be wherever they'd like. If you want your arms extended, that'll give you a bigger stretch. And if you want more of a restorative pose, put your hands folded under your forehead. And this one can still be a really nice stretch. Breathe here, sending that air to your belly. Good. And then rise up, unwind out of that. And we are going to do something similar to what we did 2 weeks ago during my last class. And we're going to roll up your mat and use that for our last stretch here before Shavasana. So roll up your mat. You can roll it halfway if you want a less intense stretch. This is going to be for our upper back. Or you can roll it all the way. In this stretch, we want it to feel good. If it doesn't feel good, stop and just take regular Shavasana or a few more cat-cows before you're done for the day. But yes, we want this to feel nice, not painful. So we are going to lay down on our rolled up mat so that it's about at the point of your shoulder blades. Knees are bent, our booty's on the ground. And then hands are going to be behind our head, supporting our head as we lay all the way back. Once you find a spot that feels good, you might want to move up or down an inch or so to find a good spot, but this is definitely going to be through our upper back. The mat is not going to be at our lower back. But once you find a good place where you feel like you can rest, settle in and take a few deep breaths here. Enjoy this opening through your chest. A direction that we don't spend a lot of time in our day-to-day. We actually spend so much time in the opposite direction. So it can often feel lovely to do this. And then once you've had a few moments in that spot, move the mat up on your back so it's a little higher between the shoulder blades. And then rest back again for another stretch. Try and feel your body just melting into the mat. Softening the muscles around your shoulders, neck, upper back, arms, chest. Taking your time here, really enjoying this. Good, and then slowly roll to your side, come off of your mat, and then if you'd like to roll it back out for Shavasana, or if you would like to lay on your couch, lay on the floor with a pillow, some blankets, you're more than welcome to do that. And then I will invite you to, once this video ends, continue your Shavasana. So let it be as long and luxurious as you would like. And you could even set a little timer if you're worried that you might fall asleep or spend too long in your meditation. But set a timer for anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes to 10 even, depending on what is going on in your day. And let this moment be just for you to either think about your breathing, practice some mindfulness, or just lay there and rest. It doesn't have to look a certain way. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed class today, and we will be back in a few